Welcome back to Worldwide Chocolates Flight Club. We have made it to spring and it is finally April. April Fools is behind us, so no gimmicks, but we are here for another Flight Club package. What comes in April? April showers, so I'm wearing some rain gear in case anything starts stirring above us and I don't want to get wet on set. If it actually does start raining, you guessed it, I came double prepared and I have an umbrella. So I may have just gotten some bad luck for doing this inside, but we're here for Flight Club, so I'm willing to take that risk. And without further ado, let's jump in to our first tasting. Another season that's right on the horizon is the season of monsoons. A monsoon is in essence, a shift in winds that can create pretty massive rainstorms in certain areas, particularly the American Southwest. And I'm bringing this up because our first feature in April 2023 is Monsoon chocolate out of Tucson, Arizona. So jumping into our first feature this month, it is actually one of Monsoon Chocolate's latest single origins. The cocoa is coming from Bolivia, which is actually our first Bolivian cacao feature in Flight Club, and this is one of the best representations of how fine quality Bolivian cacao is. The cocoa in this blend is actually coming from Hacienda Tranquilidad, which is a cocoa farm 1,500 acres deep in the Bolivian Amazon basin. This cocoa estate is spearheaded by Volker Leman, who actually can be credited to revitalizing this particular Bolivian cacao. The Beniano cacao is a naturally growing cocoa from Bolivia, which was endemic for a bit of time as it was seeing some disease that was killing off the cocoa crops, but Volker actually had brought this cocoa back to life and was the first to introduce Bolivian cacao to the industrial chocolate world. Beniano cacao comes from the Beni River area, which again, right up in here in Bolivia, as we've mentioned. The cocoa is growing on silvestre trees, which grow in an area about 850 acres, and they are only harvested once a year, and they leave that area alone for the majority of the year, allowing this cocoa to grow in its ideal conditions. At a 73% cocoa content, you'll get rich notes of honey, prune, and espresso, and thrilled that we can include such a unique and sought-out chocolate to kick things off this April. This next chocolate in our Flight Club package is an exclusive chocolate. You cannot actually purchase this on our website, but it is specific to our Flight Club subscribers. This actually is one of Monsoon's best-selling products, and it is malt balls covered in a roasted strawberry chocolate. You might be familiar with malt balls at a high level, dare I say, Whoppers, or, and that probably has stuck in your head, Whopper, double Whopper. I cannot deal with hearing that anymore, so please do not leave a comment about Whoppers. These are not Whoppers, not the chocolate Whoppers. They're not Burger King Whoppers, but these are fine quality malt balls. They have a crunchy malt center, and they are enrobed and panned in Monsoon Chocolate's strawberry couverture. Their strawberry couverture is in essence, a dairy-free chocolate that's using cocoa butter, sugar, and strawberries, but there is no actual dairy in the chocolate. Bring it to the movies or just eat it at home and watch a movie in the comfort of your home. Maybe there's a rainy day coming, as we all know, and don't always love the April showers, but that's a great excuse to bundle up. Get your rain gear on if you're going out, but if you're staying in, toss on a movie and enjoy these decadent treats. For some additional Monsoon chocolate content, we actually have some great footage that we're about to take a look at, which includes some hands-on look at their facility, their bean to bar process, molding, and you'll get to meet the owner and founder, Adam Krantz. So let's take a look.
Irony at its finest.
Played Willy Wonka in my school production of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Now Adam Krantz owns Monsoon Chocolate in South Tucson.
Always imagined one day I would do something to contribute to Tucson. I never imagined it would be a chocolate factory. We're playing with things like prickly pear and mesquite pod and chiltepine peppers. The first step is we sort the beans. So we have our very high-tech contraption of basically just pouring beans into this tray and hand sorting them.
What are you sorting them for?
So we're looking...
Good, bad?
Yeah, occasionally you'll find things like rocks or sticks, you know, things that we don't want to roast. And once they're fully sorted, we're kind of putting them into bins and we're taking them into our facility in the back.
That room.
And the next step is to roast them.
Does it make a difference with freshness? Like, oh, we don't want to roast too many at a time because they won't be fresh down the road?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Like every step, there's an opportunity to control the quality. And so in our production schedule, we basically roast as needed. And then once they're cooled, we take them back up to the front area. And the next step is a process called winnowing. And that's where we crack open the bean, and then we use a vacuum system to remove the paper husk.
Wow.
And once we have the chocolate and it's made, we melt it and we temper it. Tempering is a process of heating and cooling to get the crystallization of the chocolate kind of the way that we want it.
So cool, so cool. So these are all the molds you have? Because I see they're like so many of them have neat shapes, like geometric almost.
Yeah.
So that all comes down to the mold.
Yeah, so these are polycarbonate molds. Our process is we like to decorate our bonbons. So our first step is hand painting them or airbrushing them with tinted cocoa butter. Yeah, so it's edible colored cocoa butter. And then once it's dry, crystallized, we turn out the bonbons, and then you have what we see in the case.
Okay. Of course, I didn't leave without trying one and asked the chocolatier himself to pick one for me.
This is the blueberry oat cardamom.
Ooh.
So this is a triple layer bonbon. The top layer is a blueberry caramel.
Okay.
The middle layer is a gluten-free oat crumble. And the bottom layer is a cardamom-infused white chocolate, the interior.
My goodness.
We're very grateful to be in this community, and we're very appreciative.
So next time you need your chocolate fix, give Monsoon Chocolate a try. Or a taste.
That was some great content, and Monsoon Chocolates has some unbelievably great people to work with. Excited that we can include one of their brand new single origin dark chocolates to kick off this month, in addition to an exclusive Monsoon chocolate that you can't purchase on our website. Perks of being in Flight Club, but we will be moving on to our next tasting. So now that we have gotten through an early season monsoon, we can start to strip off our rain gear and watch the flowers blossom. We have quite a decadent bouquet of flowers here. And what do flowers bring? Bees. And our next feature is Honeymoon Chocolates out of St. Louis, Missouri. We have covered Honeymoon Chocolates once in the past, but we have not covered this particular blend. This is their 41% white chocolate. It is a blueberry lavender white chocolate bar, and this is one of the most unique white chocolates I can say I've come across. This chocolate is actually also dairy-free, and it is using oat milk as a substitute for any dairy products. There are no cocoa solids in this bar, but it is using cocoa butter. The cocoa butter in this blend is coming from the Marañón region in Peru, which right around here, and it really comes together for a perfectly sweet but not overpowering spring chocolate. Honeymoon Chocolates also does some phenomenal work with the pollinator partnership, which helps save the bees. I'm a huge fan of anything bee related. If I see something that'll support the bees, you can probably bet that I'll be participating. Another great feature is that they have each bar number handwritten on the back. So if you scan this QR code here, it will bring you to their website. You can type in your bar number and it will show you exactly which pollinator partnership this bar helped to support. The honey in this chocolate is coming from bees which were pollinating wildflowers, and you will get that nice floral undertone once tasting. Of course, you'll get strong notes of blueberry and lavender alongside the honey and cocoa butter, but they all come together in almost a perfect harmony for a spring chocolate that you truly will not forget. Keeping the spring theme in mind, I wanted to bring some pastel colors out, and it is fitting as in between takes my shoulders started getting cold, thus the sweater. So we'll be taking a look at some content from Honeymoon Chocolates. You'll get to meet the founder and CEO Cam Loyett, and despite only being founded in 2021, they have made a great impact on the chocolate making world as well as the beekeeper world. So whether you are a chocolate fan or a bee fan, you're gonna love this content coming up. So let's take a look.
The core of Honeymoon really was formulated around using honey. So my name's Cam Loyett. I'm co-founder and CEO of Honeymoon Chocolates. Honeymoon began in a dorm room back in 2016, and the core of why we started a business, let alone a business in chocolate, was to try and make a difference in the world. We're able to help our farmers at origin, and then also our consumers are able to not only remove refined sugars from their diet, because we use raw honey as our sweetener, but also they're able to consume and purchase ethically sourced cacao in the chocolate. And we get to eat a bunch of great chocolate too. So I grew up in a really healthy household. Candy wasn't allowed in the house, but dark chocolate was, because there were many studies that I would even present to my parents saying, you know, this is healthy, we can have this. In undergrad at Illinois Wesleyan University, I met Haley, my girlfriend at the time and now my wife. We decided to just dive into a business. We weren't sure what we were going to do. For her birthday, I bought her some cocoa nibs. Ultimately, the cocoa nibs just kind of sat on her dresser in her room, and they gathered dust. So what we ended up doing, instead of tossing the cocoa nibs, is we bought our first grinder, which we still use today. It's in the back. Our little blue Premier Wonder grinder was what we started with. We took the idea, first batch of chocolate, to a pitch competition, and we were awarded a fellowship at Illinois Wesleyan. And from there, we kept pushing the brand, kept workshopping it. Ended up coming to St. Louis to follow Haley, where she she earned her MD at St. Louis University, and we started Honeymoon back up. Started in a shared kitchen out in Fenton. In tandem with starting off in our first commercial kitchen here in St. Louis, I enrolled at Washington University. We had a pitch class. Made another batch of chocolate, and we decided to continue running with the brand. Around the same time, Flynn, our head maker, reached out, and he was interested in joining the team. And then shortly thereafter, Noah, one of our makers and now our fulfillment manager, reached out and was interested in helping out Honeymoon. So we've kind of organically grown the team since then. We didn't want to get our honey from just anywhere, so we source our honey from Bourbon, Missouri, East Carondelet, Illinois. So the main reason why we use honey is it's a sweeter product than cane sugar. We also use raw honey because it has a lot of natural vitamins, minerals, enzymes that cane sugar just doesn't have. So we source cacao from Haiti, Peru, Colombia, and Uganda. We pick these origins based on their specific tasting notes that we find within the cacao bean. It's specifically due to the terroir of the region and the practices used for farming. So we enjoy using our Peruvian bean specifically because it's fruity, or Haiti because it's savory. There are some farmers throughout the world that are switching to more profitable crops. Our goal is to pay a value at or above fair trade to ensure that they continue to produce cacao. So in the summer of 2020, we realized that we needed to grow. We found this space here in Clayton, and St. Louis was voted among the top 10 foodie cities in the country and really given a showcase. The idea of ensuring that the bar from start to finish, we've done everything right. We've used compostable packaging, we've sourced at or above fair trade value, is the core of Honeymoon, and it's what excites not only myself, but it also drives all of our employees to do better day in and day out. That's why St. Louis, that's why chocolate. It's just the perfect stage for Honeymoon.
Some pretty great footage, and as you can guess, they are absolutely phenomenal folks to work with. Super thrilled that we have Honeymoon as part of our extensive lineup, and this chocolate, not this particular chocolate, but this chocolate maker really stands out on its own. This might be the perfect bar for spring, and you again will not find anything like it out there. Happy again that we can include such a fine and unique lineup to kick off April, and we'll be moving on to our next tasting. Alrighty, well, being in April, it is one of those months where it's, at least in the Northeast, 90 degrees one day and then 40 degrees the next day. The temp is plummeting, and covering my shoulders was not enough, so I had to put on this nice pastel sweater fully. So mind all the wardrobe changes, but that's what spring's all about. We are going to be sticking in South America for the next cocoa origin, but for the chocolate maker, we're actually going to the United Kingdom. And we'll be tasting Willie's Cacao. This month, for the first time ever, we are including a 100% cacao chocolate bar. This is unsweetened, 100% natural, and there are not that many ingredients in it. In case you couldn't guess, it has cocoa, but this is actually an inclusion bar which has both pistachios and dates. The cocoa from this Willie's Cacao blend is coming from Rio Marañón, Peru, and this is actually a similar region of which we had just tasted in Honeymoon chocolates. So Honeymoon, obviously is just using the cocoa butter from the Marañón region, whereas this chocolate is using the 100% cocoa liqueur. They may look like jewels, but they're actually pistachios and dates within this chocolate, and these are acting as natural sweeteners to the cocoa itself. Dates do have a good natural sugar content in them, and despite the 100% chocolate not having any added sugar, the dates, elevate it to a sweet level that you might be, pleasantly surprised with. And the pistachios, when paired with the dates, have that nice green nutty flavor that just perfectly comes together in harmony in this particular 100% chocolate. I will say we do carry quite a different range of 100% chocolates, whether it's inclusion or different single origins, but this is actually our best selling 100% chocolate bar, and that speaks a lot to the quality and demand that our customers are really coming to love. We will now be looking at some footage from Willie's Cacao. You will meet Willie himself. I can't say he's the Willy Wonka, but the next closest thing to it, outside myself, of course, right? Willie is quite a character, and his passion is unparalleled. The things he is doing for the single origin chocolate making is out of this world, and super thrilled that we can have Willie's line up in our catalog.
Easter wouldn't be Easter without chocolate. We eat more chocolate at Easter than any time of the year. Not that we do badly the rest of the year. 9.4 kilos of chocolate a year per person. That's 2 of these bars a week. That's more than the French, the Germans, the Spanish, more than anyone in Europe. It's not the amount of chocolate that we eat, it's the type of chocolate that is frightening. It isn't really chocolate. Here is a collection of Britain's best-selling bars, but not one of them you could really call a chocolate bar. It's confectionery, it's sugar, vegetable fat, with a thin coating of chocolate on the outside. Chocolate to me is that, you know, there's got to be some purity in it. Chocolate is a mixture of some fine cocoa sourced around the world, some great sugar, and a little cocoa butter. And that is chocolate, something pure with flavor. Chocolate that tastes of chocolate, real chocolate.
For 15 years, Willie Harcourt Coos has single-handedly pursued his dream of producing the finest chocolate in the world. He's grown cacao on a plantation in the heart of the Venezuelan jungle. He's restored antique chocolate equipment to set up a small factory in Devon, and now he's about to take on his biggest challenge ever: to create a popular chocolate bar for sale in the high street to rival the products of the big commercial giants.
And these are my first bars. It's a bit like having a baby.
It's a massive financial and emotional enterprise for one man and his family.
That's my future. That's the future chocolate bar flavour.
That was some pretty great footage from Willie's Cacao and Willie himself. I will admit, you know, the full segment I believe is over an hour long, so if you really want to dig deep and get to know and love Willie like I do, I would suggest checking out the entire segment. I'll link the videos in the description below, and we'll be moving on to our next tasting. All right, just coming back in with a weather report. The rain has picked up again, so it seems like we might be sticking in a monsoon season. I also came to realize how wrinkled this is, but because the temp is dropping, I don't have anything to change into. I need to keep this on. My apologies, but I will certainly be ironing all of my clothes for the next segment. Anywho, we are on to our next chocolate tasting this month, and we will be heading to Adendorf, Germany. So we'll be departing the UK and just traveling, you know, not too far to Germany, and we will be tasting Schluckwerder's chocolate nonpareils. You might be a little confused as the packaging does say chocolate rings with sprinkles, but these little white candies and pastel colored candies, also perfect to fit the spring theme, are defined as nonpareils. This is a fine and nice snacking chocolate similar to the Monsoon chocolate strawberry malt balls, but these are just pure dark chocolate with the nonpareil candies sprinkled on top. They do have some color, you know, kind of mixed in, many of which are pastel, which just are perfect for spring. That's why I'm wearing this, and well, actually I'm wearing this because it's cold out, but the pastel nonpareils on these chocolates just really give it that nice spring touch. Schluckwerder has been producing both chocolate and marzipan out of Germany for about 60 years. And, you know, some folks might speculate that they specialize in marzipan more than chocolate, some are vice versa. We have had Schluckwerder's marzipan in a past Flight Club package, but this month we are all things chocolate, and thus we have our chocolate nonpareil rings. I will also note that despite the serving size stating that 6 pieces is an average serving, I wouldn't bat an eye if you get through this in one sitting, as that's what happened to me the other night. But, you know, it's all research and development and quality control. So I've eaten an entire pack in one sitting just to ensure that each ring was up to the same standards as the next. Quite a fun and unique chocolate to cap things off for this April, and that just about wraps up our chocolate features in April 2023. But despite having covered all of our chocolates, you know we can't finish up quite yet without covering some trivia first. So for this month's trivia, the question is, in what year were chocolate nonpareils first created? Again, I ask that you don't look it up, as that kind of defeats the purpose of trivia, but if you happen to have that chocolate knowledge in the back of your head, leave a comment below, and that will earn you a free chocolate or collection of small chocolates with your next Flight Club package. But thank you again for subscribing and being a part of our Flight Club. We will have a lot more exclusive Flight Club chocolates in the coming months. similar to that of the Monsoon chocolates, strawberry chocolate malt balls. So if you're interested in receiving and tasting more fine, unique, exclusive chocolates, stay subscribed, as that is the next big thing coming. But until next time, I wish you all a happy spring, to take care, and eat, sleep, breathe chocolate. Cheers.